Hey everybody, it's Invicta. It's time for another Eden Run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Thursday, Mosh Pit. We are waiting for another video to cross 2,000 likes to get us back on track for the like streak goal of Alt Path Week 2026. So if you'd like to make that possible, make sure you just click the like button. It's totally free. It takes less than a second to do, and it helps out the channel and grow as well. Here's your meme of the day, brought to you by Swedish Data, but except Swedish was spelled S-W-E-E-T-I-S-H, Data 90. Over on the Invicta subreddit, Tyler was the whole back scratcher thing caught me by surprise. My face when Invicta talked about the forked. Yeah, that's old school. That is old school Invicta lore right there. For those of you who didn't know, by the way, thank you very much, Swedish Data, and everyone who upvoted that one on the Invicta subreddit. If you did not, oh my gosh, we got Polyphemus again. Hotel Romeo, Charlie, Juliet, Foxtrot 1-6 Foxtrot. We've got crazy damage, but obviously our tears rate's going to be a problem. Your shot speed's actually not that bad, and it's actually really good to have a little bit of accelerated shot speed for Polyphemus, as that does sometimes pose a problem when you're waiting for that pass-through damage to go through. Yeah, so the lore on the fork is that a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far, far away, which was known as Papa Victa's house, but also I still did it here too, I never really owned a back scratcher, a proper back scratcher. And so I would do what any normal person would do, would just grab a fork, because it was the perfect, it was like, oh, not the perfect length, but it was good enough to get to, like, you know, my shoulder or like mid back region. That's really all I need to. And these are more of like an oversized fork. It's not like a serving fork or anything like that. It's just a big fork. And I would use that to scratch my back because it was the easiest solution that I had. And I shared that story casually one time with the Mosh Pit, and then everyone ran with it. So I do actually have a proper back scratcher now. I've gotten older and wiser over the years, but I don't have it with me near me. And that day, the only thing that I had the other day, which it's still sitting there, by the way, is the really long mechanic screwdriver that you use for IT work, working on boards and that sort of thing. The really, really long flathead screwdriver. So it got the job done. I didn't have to stop the recording just to go, you know, scratch my back or anything. So that is the origin story of the fork, though. And no, I didn't use. I'll do screw it. But we might as well just make it to where we have no tears rate, but incredible damage. This is how long it takes us to shoot. Yeah, we're shooting less than half an attack a second. So this may be a bad idea. I don't know, but one thing I do know is that our damage is going to be absolutely astronomical. So there's that. But yeah, I didn't like eat with the fork that I was scratching my back with. It was just an extra fork that I was like, yeah, I got a fork, I got an itchy back, I might as well scratch it. You know, that sort of thing. But of course, you know, people being people want to sensationalize and dramatize everything. I was gonna say dramatize, but I don't think that's the correct word. Yeah, so we just two-shot champion Pink Widow like it was nothing, and let's just add more damage, I guess. So we might as well go into the curse room here, just because we have plenty of red hearts to go around. I have no clue where the secret room is. I know where the secret room is, and Inner Child, we're probably going to honestly need another life at this point, because if we shoot anything, and I mean anything, even remotely close to where we are, we're going to get hit, and it's going to be bad, and I'm going to be sad, and I'm going to be mad. But then, you know, I can't be mad. I can't be that mad at myself because, hey, I put myself in this position by taking Ipecac, but, you know. We'll see. This is going to be a powerhouse run. Also, I've been messing. I'm still on the SM7B, but I've been messing with more compression effects on the new board. So if it still sounds a little bit wonky, again, it's going to be a little bit before I'm totally settled in with the new equipment stuff. All right, so Cellar 2 here. Definitely would like to get. I'm glad that we have Black Hole, to be honest, because that allows me to do this. Yeah, you guys go over there. I mean, if anything, anything gets too close to us, we have absolutely no defense. If we don't one-shot everything that we're intending on hitting, then we're in trouble. Until we get a better tears rate, yeah, this is gonna be our life for a little while. But yeah, I've been messing with the equalizer, and I've been getting some help with just trying to get the voice stable. The noise gate was still kind of causing a lot of issues, and originally I was just going to remove the noise gate altogether, but that does cause some problems with background noise and stuff. So I'm still trying to find the happy medium. But yeah, let me know if you think it sounds any better or if it sounds worse. I don't think it can sound any worse than it did whenever it was cutting off during the Tainted Lost run, but that was also with the other microphone. I do like that microphone a lot. I mean, I better for what it is. And it definitely made a difference in my second readings, my second take for the voice acting part. Include up to the point where the casting director today, I had a long meeting with him today. He was disappointed that I didn't have the new mic set up, which I know it seems weird to have bought that new microphone and this new board and then not use it all the time, but I really don't want to mess that one microphone up. And because of that, I'm being very, very, very careful with it. I'm treating it like almost like a new Pokemon card. You know, I know you don't want to get it scratched. You just took it out of the pack. You know, you want to give it protection, and you don't want to mess with it. Just leave it. Just look at it and leave it. Look and leave. That's gonna be the name of my. That's the new name of my trading card simulator shop. Look and leave. It's not quite buy and leave. Oh my gosh, there's a free miter right here. So anyway. Why are you not getting affected by that, Spider? There's no way you're strong enough to pull against that. But yeah, so I'm being very overly cautious with that microphone. And that was under the direction of more than a few people who are actual audiophiles and one professional producer. So just being careful. But the goal is also just to get the SM7B to sound as good as possible, and I think that it sounded great the first day I got it, which was all the way back. I think I was playing RimWorld at the time. Lost Soul Buddy, check him out now. Well, I'm gonna stick to my pledge here that if we see Lost Soul Buddy, I'm just going to take him. I'm just gonna take him because I will forget him, and people will get mad and upset, and then I'll get mad and upset. I'm not gonna get mad though. You never really hear me get mad. I get irritated with the game, but never mad, you know? Stars card is great, but I'm going to keep the Algis Rune here. Nope. If we're going to get hit, we might as well get paid for it. Put that on a t-shirt now. We have Haunt. Haunt shouldn't be a big deal, but I worry about the little haunts, so I'm going to do this. Yeah, that is some chunky damage right there. Like Haunt, we hit him so hard he couldn't even register what was happening. I'm gonna take a little bit of range on Ipecac, but it's not something that you really want to take too much of. Yeah, that's gonna give us even more tears down, which is not what I want. Hold strong, Lost Soul Buddy. I'm trying. These single spiders are more dangerous than anything else. I'm going to take the nail, though, just for extra HP protection. It also gives us Stompy. It also gives us 2 or 3 for Leviathan already. Flying is going to be very nice. Again, I wouldn't mind taking... If we didn't have Ipecac, I wouldn't mind taking Death's Touch. But the problem is that our tears rate is already so low. Dropping it even further is... That is madness. Sorry about that. Lost Soul Buddy. Check him out now. There you go. So I did my Sinvicta Lee duty, and I remembered Lost Soul Buddy. And there he goes. Yep. There was a 0% chance neither one of us were getting out of that room without at least taking a hit. Same thing goes for this room, to be honest, which is the reason why I was a little hesitant to get rid of Black Hole. Now, in terms of extra content, I know that we haven't had Lobotomy Corporation or Ball Pit much this week, although I haven't recorded yet. Ooh, that would be nice. I haven't recorded the extra stuff, extra content yet. At the time of this recording, I'm planning on it though. So, and there's a couple reasons for that. Mainly that I've been super busy with outside work stuff to get done. We also have a big winter storm coming through, and I have family that are planning on apparently staying with me. So I had to get ready for that. So I know it sounds like excuses, but I'm just letting everybody know. I just letting you know that I'm not thinking about the other series on the channel. There's some extenuating circumstances that are causing me to have to divert attention to otherwise playing video games and recording and working, which I laughingly call this work. Also, somebody in the comment section talked about this. Just remind me, no, we don't want any more range, or tier size for that matter. This reminded me. Somebody in the comment section said that Spelunker's Helm actually stops you from taking damage from things that are dropping on your head. For example, like in the Bombino fight, and I had no idea that was a thing. We have plenty of time. We should go back and at least look for the shop. Yeah, I had absolutely no clue that was even a mechanic in the game. It makes sense because I mean it's a helmet, so, but kind of so is host tech kind of, and you know that doesn't do anything for you. But hey, if Isaac is anything, it is not lacking of the lack of continuity. So we don't really care about the Devil Deal here. We are not going to be able to charge Little Brimmy, and quite frankly, we just don't need him. Yeah, that's a sensible way of getting out of this room. Until we take damage, or until we get a Tears upgrade, this is just going to be our life. Cue the Oppenheimer thumbnails. The running joke that Alex's very now legendary first Oppenheimer thumbnail that I don't know how that one split the uprights there. I gave him the idea. I was like, hey, do this, but in Isaac form with that first Oppenheimer thumbnail. And that was the result of me just, I hadn't even seen the movie. I still haven't. How the hell have we not found the shop? Oh, wait, you already found the shop. What am I talking about? People have already started yelling at me at the comments for this one. This one's deserved. This was me ranting about the microphone. But yeah, that first Oppenheimer thumbnail was from me just looking at the poster. I was like, hey, that looks cool. Ipecac, explosions. It makes sense to me. All right, Lost Soul Buddy, take two. Here we go. You're gonna make it. I promise you that I will attempt to try to think about maybe making sure that you make it. That is my promise to you. You may die, but that is a risk that I am willing to take. But the casting director, it was a very good meeting. I got a lot of good info, got a lot of good tech, good intel. And slowly, I will say he was very happy about the huge improvement that I'd made over the course of my last readings. Why in the world did that shot go that way? So that's encouraging, and I've been really working hard at making sure that I'm making a character instead of just a funny voice that doesn't have any personality behind it. That's been the real trick. And you know, and what's been helping, I've been talking to people who are actors. I've been talking to voice actors who are friends of mine. Talked to Matthias, obviously, and you know, there've been a lot of people in the mosh pit who also come from a theater background, just kind of coaching me through stuff. Nothing crazy, but just giving me some general ideas. And it's definitely a work in progress. I like the challenge. I like having to train myself to say, to go from I'm making a funny voice to, okay, this is this character's voice, but I'm not convinced that it's me because I know that it's still me playing a character that has a voice. And then going from that to, okay, I am this character. I understand where he's coming from. I understand what he's feeling during this time, that sort of thing. And I've been really trying hard to get in that mentality, because it is difficult for someone who's never done this kind of stuff before. It's very, very difficult, way harder than I thought it would be. But I think I am getting better with it, because I've been... Oh, there's a rock there. Oh, wait, no, sorry, there's not a rock. There's just a space there that we couldn't move past, so thank you, game. Lost Soul Buddy, you can blame the game for that one, not me. It's never my fault. I mean, come on. We are going to get a Tears upgrade here with Torn Photo. So that helps us a little bit with our attacks per second, but no, we won't be doing that. But I'll watch some streamers, just some random streamers from time to time, people I don't know, and they'll put on like funny voices and stuff, and I'm almost a little envious to just be able to do like, you know, like, or play a character and just stay as that character. I wish I had that kind of experience. So I think it's something that you eventually learn how to do. But with my personality, I've always had a very, I don't want to say flat personality, but I'm always even tempered. You know, it's played up for YouTube and stuff like that, obviously, because no one wants just a monotone person. Although that does sell these days. Someone who's just, you know, the Aubrey Plazas of the world. I think Aubrey or Audrey, you know who I'm talking about. You know, the very flat personality, you know, monotone, even keel type personality, and that's something that I kind of have in real life, but it's not something I don't think would be entertaining for YouTube. We're getting some doo-doo items here for our bosses, but hey, we got a Tears up, so I will say that this process of learning how to voice act, actually learning how to act, has been eye-opening, and it's also been fascinating. You know, I have a newfound respect for people. I think I'll give you an example, and I'm never going to meet this person, so I don't mean any offense, but it's not like it's going to matter, even if I was trying to be offensive. But Seth Green, who is a very funny guy. And, you know, he's done a lot of characters, but the one he's probably known for the most ubiquitously for is Chris Griffin from Family Guy. And I used to think that, man, you know, that seems like such an easy part to play, such an easy voice to do. And because it's just so, like, you know, I'm Chris. You know, you got to just find a funny voice and just stick with it. And you know, now that, going through all the sort of, I don't want to say all the steps. It's not like I went to school, so it's not like I've passed any sort of initiation process, but understanding what goes into acting has even made me appreciate someone from Family Guy, which is a show I'm not a huge fan of, or, you know, better yet, The Simpsons or something like that, or even Matt and Trey from doing South Park. You know, it's kind of a running gag at some points that there's only a few voices that Matt can do and a few voices that Trey can do, but the range of the acting skills, it doesn't really matter what the voice sounds like, but you believe the silliness, the awkwardness, the offensiveness of the character that they're portraying. So almost to the point where the voice doesn't matter, and that's kind of what I was talking to the casting director with today, was that, you know, the voices can always be retooled and stuff. It's about working within your range. And for me, I'm trying I can't reveal anything, but the voice I'm trying to do is not like my normal speaking voice, obviously. I don't want to play a character that sounds like me. I want to play someone who has a very distinct voice. But what's funny is that the problem that I'm running into is that my voice, my sort of character voice, it always ends up kind of slipping back into my regular voice, my regular talking voice, the one you're hearing now. And I'm trying to fight against that. And one thing that the casting director told me was like, well, it's actually good that you know that it's slipping back into your range. That's because that's the natural range that you want to be working on, not something that's uncomfortable or is something you're not going to get too much emotion out of because you're more focused on doing a voice and stuff. So it's all good. It's like I said, it's all good tech, good eats. But what's funny is that my range and the voice that I'm trying to do, it always ends up coming off like almost like Thrall from WoW. It's like a sort of a Chris Medson orc voice. Like, you know, greetings, friend. What is it you wish? Or, you know, me not that kind of orc. It's funny how it kind of go. I start trying not to go for that direction. It ends up morphing into it anyway. So, no Devil Deal, 73% by the way. We're playing The Binding of Isaac. I don't know how I would describe my voice because it might come off as self-glossing. But I definitely can project my voice if we're not focusing on, like, you know, who is this Homer Simpson POS, you know? Kermit the Frog. I don't have like a Patrick Mahomes voice, but I definitely have it's kind of Kermity, it's kind of froggish in a way, I guess. In a way, I suppose it's unique. Oh, we're really not going to make boss rush on here, huh? I've always had a thing for Johnny Bravo and doing that kind of voice stuff, dude. I'm so getting tired of getting stuck on just random crap. It's because I've been trying to sneak in the angle of making a shot, but also trying to dodge, and that's not possible with this build. I'm gonna freely use the Satanic Bible here because there's no qualms about Devil Deal boss item because there's no boss item to have. Okay, game, look. I know that you're probably getting off to the idea that we've got this tears rate and we're very limited in our shot speed and fire rate and everything, but like you could stop giving us the spider rooms every now and then. Just every now and then would be nice. Obviously, we're gonna have a surplus of bombs because we have no need for them. We're not making boss rush, so I'm not even gonna bother with the fool card here. I don't know what our HP is, so we don't really exactly need money. I do want to see if this is it is a chaos card. Well, I still wouldn't take it. The Algis rune is just going to be better for us in a sticky situation. I don't know how my voice would be described by someone who knows voices. Magic Fingers would actually be pretty insane for this damage. PH Dizzle, I mean, that could give us a Tears upgrade. If at the very least it's going to allow us to identify pills. Magic Fingers is an interesting play. It does 2x plus 10. So we're sacrificing our ability... We're sacrificing our ability to... The Empress card's going to screw me up. We're sacrificing our ability to gain HP by simply letting our damage do the work for us, in the sense, almost passively. So instead of us having to worry about hitting ourselves, we can just do this and deal a big amount of damage, like 116 damage plus 10, so 126 damage here to everything in the room with every single penny. And that works great for us because if we do get hit, thanks to Swallowed Penny, we have a renewable resource of allowing us to do this AoE damage over and over and over again. Of course, it'd be a Krampus fight. Yeah, that is a ton of damage there. Ooh. There's not that much difference, and I like the idea of if we're going to take damage, we have a way of getting a coin so we can just nuke everything again. I like this idea. So yes, having a little bit of extra fire rate would be nice. It definitely would help, but it's not good enough for me to warrant. I'm trying, Lost Soul Buddy. We don't want more shot speed. Shot speed's fine, but we don't want it here. This is actually gonna be really tricky here. What I have to do is hit the orbital or hit the poop. Yeah, what we don't want is we don't want to spawn the Eternal Fly. I'm saying that our damage with Magic Fingers is going to keep us safer than the HP that we would have gained by way of the Satanic Bible. And because our damage is so high right now, unusually high, ridiculously high, I think that this is a gambit that's worth exploring. I'm just going to use a bomb here. Okay, so that's 5 more uses of Magic Fingers. Make it 6. We're wondering where that second shot's coming from. That is from the Bookworm transformation that we just got done getting. That happens after you touch 3 book items. Look at that. I mean, we're one-shotting Gurglings. That's an impressive amount of damage that Magic Fingers is going for. And this is also kind of a... That was my fault. Sorry. Sorry, Lost Soul Buddy, but also not my fault. This is also kind of a newer synergy. I mean, it's not something that you ever really see me do. You know, Magic Fingers has come up clutch in the past, but I don't think it's ever been this giga-charged before. Yeah, if we didn't have Magic Fingers, this isn't a death room, but it might as well be one of the death rooms. All those little egglets bouncing all over the place. Now we're also gaining a stacking tears upgrade because of it hurts. So if we get hit, we're gaining more. Honestly, give me more movement speed. I know it seems counterintuitive to not take the tears rate, but Mr. Dolly gives you a massive amount of range, and that's not necessarily great for Ipecac. And again, the amount of tears that we would get is it does not have that much impact of what we needed to do. Because now we don't need tears anymore, right? Our main focus, our main DPS, source of DPS is no longer Ipecac. It is Magic Fingers. So Ipecac is here in a more supportive role now than taking the active role of DPSing most things. Yeah, that cost us 3 cents, and we're totally unscathed. This is definitely a neat combo. Got a little bit of a recharge there. I like it. That room took the same amount of money as Super Envy did. Super Envy did. So it's definitely worth it for us to play this, and even we may want to consider using the Alga's rune here to extend the amount of taps that we get with Polar Invincibility. I'm strongly consider doing that because we have so much damage built into Ipecac, Polyphemus, and Magic Fingers that it almost negates any use of our tears, period. It's that strong. And if we come away here with 99 cents, shoot. I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the Alga's rune. I think that's a sound decision here. We're getting double payout thanks to PhD, so this could be 99 cents here. Yeah, we want to see more nickels here. This is a little bit of a risky move because obviously the Alga's rune is safety, but so is damage. So is the amount of damage that we're doing. So we end up coming away with 73 cents now. Now, see, this is why you don't want a whole lot of range on Ipecac. You don't want them floating like that. You want them to descend at a pretty fast rate so you can hit whatever you're trying to get out of the way. You don't want them going over the target, which is what's happening right now. So to avoid that, you'll see me get closer than I usually will be to other targets with Ipecac, because I want to catch the target on the upswing for the shot instead of the downward curve. We can use the bomb flies against Loki to our advantage here. If he decides to spawn one on him, we'll just detonate it from afar. Somehow I knew, I was so dismissive of that northern room. I was like, it's not going to be up there. Yeah. All right. There's the south side and southwestern side, everybody. Cannon rock right here. I'm just going to go ahead and bomb that because we can't hit that. No. I don't think we'll be doing that. We could go and should go back to the arcade, but I think with 78 cents, we still should be okay. Because I'm not going to sit there and just spam it, you know, until we get to Isaac or Blue Baby. Just trying to keep the enemies curbed here. There, I saved you, Lost Soul Buddy. I did that for you. I want you to know that. This would give us Leviathan. Mega Blast is not bad, but it's really bad with Ipecac here. This would give us Flying and Leviathan and also get us down to almost Polar Invincibility. If we take Mega Blast here just to get rid of our Red Heart, then that does take us down to Polar Invincibility. But I wouldn't take Mega Blast in this spot over what we have now. It's just a little bit more dangerous. Soul Buddy giving us what we didn't want, which was HP. So now flying really opens it up for us. That cost 4 cents there. And we don't need to try to be too conservative with our money right now. We just want to make sure we're not wasting it. If we're going to use it, let's make sure we're using it properly. A sun card. We could probably save that for the chest. Although I have a sneaky feeling. Oh, wow. We went right to Isaac. I have a sneaky feeling we're going to see Curse of the Lost. All right, Lost Soul Buddy, get behind me. I will protect you. Trying to push him over. Oh, we got this. We got the swing on him. Nice. Uh-oh. I can't believe I dodged most of those. Yeah, and you're seeing the problem there with Ipecac. If you miss with this tears rate, forget about it. You ain't hitting. You gotta wait. Good double shot there by Bookworm. Good. Lost Soul Buddy was a worthy sacrifice. All right, we didn't get a Curse of the Lost, which I'm honestly shocked by. Oh, now Libra I think is a bad idea, but Pyromaniac makes this a GG. Libra is a bad idea because that will effectively stop the only advantage. I mean, we have multiple advantages here. Don't get it twisted, but it would kill our Magic Fingers strat, and it's unnecessary. Although with Pyromaniac Brother now, we heal off of explosions, including Ipecac explosions, so we have there's no more fear of us hurting ourselves. But I like this Magic Fingers play. It's super powerful. I don't have to wait for the shots to come out. We just do this. No problem at all. We should go into the secret room just to see if we can get some extra money. Yeah. We will take it. Now, just for S's and G's, I'm going to go back and take Libra. We've already seen the power that this is, so let's see the difference between not having Libra and now having Libra for this build here. So we lost, as you see, 51 damage, but now we have these little pea shooter Dorito shots, and let's see if that's any faster than if we just used our Giga Pump damage. So you see here, it's more shots, but we're bouncing around all over the place. We're doing less damage here with Magic Fingers. We're getting hit. Mostly because I'm not trying to dodge at this point, but yeah, so if we wanted to just get a pure Tears upgrade, then yes, taking Libra definitely makes sense, but since we were just trying to go with the Giga Pump damage, then it's obviously a little counterintuitive. But we end up getting the easy dub here, so a little bit more of a commentary episode than strategy, but hey, we had a lot of fun having that synergy there with Magic Fingers, Polyphemus, and Ipecac. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and of course, if you really enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like button, or if you enjoyed the discussions, maybe you just like hearing someone talk for 30 minutes to an hour every single day, then if you do, click the like, subscribe button. It's all you got to do. It supports my channel and it helps out a great deal. And thank you everyone who's been around, whether you're a new subscriber or OG Mosh Pit member since you've been all the way back to the Lauder days. I appreciate you still being with here. Hope you have a great start to your Thursday. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. I'd like thanks to patrons of mine like Matthew, Levi, Justin46, and Devin Basting. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find at patreon.com/Sinvicta.